I'm speaking with Ben Kohn, founder and senior financial advisor at Link Financial Services. First of all, Ben, thank you very much for participating in the Inside Network's Alternatives Symposium.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a great pleasure having you here, Ben. Ben, from an advice perspective, why allocate to alternatives at all? What structural role do they play in helping clients achieve better long-term investment outcomes?
That's an excellent question. I feel that the importance of alternatives is to add diversification to a client's portfolio. And we take a bit of a different approach in educating clients around risk and return. And once I try and find the right risk return spectrum for the client, we then look at investments that will try and provide a reasonable return but reducing risk. So something that could give, say, an asymmetric return to the market without relying on conditions of going up or down.
What are the most common challenges you've faced when implementing alternative strategies, whether around liquidity, transparency, governance, or even simple client understanding of what you're proposing?
Well, I feel that there's a lot of advisors that will take advantage of the sophisticated and wholesale rules around the $2.5 million test or $250,000 a year income and recommend alternates just for the sake of it. What I try to do is really try and understand what the client's needs, goals and objectives are. Can they stomach the risk and return? Can they stomach the long-term duration of holding some alternate investments? Whilst they may be advertised or projected to have a 5, 6, 7 year view, they could be 10, 12, 15 years. And then limit the ability for those clients to have alternate investments and then go through the different asset classes. And there could be 5 or 6 different categories of alternates that we'll look for clients.
When you're attending a symposium dedicated to alternatives, as this one is, what insights are you most seeking, Ben, as a practitioner? Is it macro context, manager access, portfolio construction frameworks, or something else?
Look, it's a little bit of all of the above. If you can leave these symposiums with just one key learning, I think you've done well. And the good thing about Inside Network and putting on this symposium is that there's such a broad church of different ideas, contexts, some people joking a little bit, but really good learnings, good access to management, really high quality sessions. And for me, it's just picking up one good idea and then going with it and talking to clients about it. So it's been thoroughly enjoyed.
Ben, as the alternatives universe continues to expand, what capabilities do advisors need to develop over the next few years to stay confident in allocating into that area of the market?
Well, I really think that they need to develop a good, strong expertise in 1 or 2 core areas of alternates, where they're happy to research, do due diligence, meet the managers, see the portfolio companies or properties, whatever the alternate investments are, and then most importantly surround themselves with best of breed analysts, research houses and investment managers to do that. I feel it's going to be a growing asset class and people really need to surround themselves with really smart and clever people. And these sort of symposiums start to introduce you to those people.
Finally, what scenarios are you planning for around market conditions and the allocation to alternatives? Do you see it being something that will remain steady, decline or grow over the next 12 to 24 months?
I think the indications from America is that the alternate sector is going to grow substantially over the next 12, 18 months, 2 years. If we take an indication of what's happening there, I feel that that's going to be transplanted to Australia. I think one of the challenges is around reporting, administration of these assets, the liquidity profile of some of them. So I think there'll be a bit of coaching and mentoring. Maybe in the credit space, there'll be a little bit of duress, but for the good advisors that will coach and mentor and educate their clients and take a very long-term approach, I feel that it will complement portfolios nicely. As any advisor would say, you generally have a negative return in 1 in every 7 or 5 years, depending on the client's risk profile. We're probably due for that sort of negative return period of time. But if you allocate carefully your defensive part of your portfolio and allow clients to have a good reserve of cash to fund any capital calls, and you coach and mentor your clients to take a longer term approach than that's what expected, I feel that the clients will get a good risk adjusted return.
Ben, is it as simple as being a case of if alternatives didn't exist, we would have had to invent them?
I believe so, yes. I believe that there's different crises or market conditions occur, like the GFC, the banks had to pull back. APRA or Basel III compliance rules required the banks to borrow less or lend out less. And I feel that in any market conditions, new opportunities arise, and alternates is just one of those. Probably a new name for an asset class that's been around a long time.
Ben Kohn from Link Financial Services, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much.